How about that? Short and sweet and powerful, punch right at you. Welcome to our Sunday gathering, friends and family from all over the world. We're so grateful you're here. Our opening songs are from the great musical Wicked, and we've got another song from Wicked coming up before the mediumship demonstration. I'm Sandra Champlain, if we have not yet met, and I'm joined with my dearest friends, Dominic Boag and Darren Wynn, and we are celebrating Sunday Gathering number 251 today. And I do know we're all aware of some mega grief in the world. Top of the list, certainly, as our friends in California and just people displaced from their homes and the terrible things that are happening. We try each and every Sunday gathering to bring some joy, some comfort, some upliftment. Every single time we try to do a little part of that. We do know that grief and even understanding what's happening in California can reactivate grief within many of us. We're sensitive folks. We care about others. And in just a moment, I'm going to have Darren introduce our Sunday gathering. But there was just something that I felt that I'd like to just say is we're noticing right now human beings helping other human beings. And the great Zig Ziglar said, you can have everything you want in life if you just help other people get what they want. And there's a great quote by Albert Schweitzer that says, the purpose of human life is to serve and show compassion and the will to help others. So while our Sunday gathering, it will be about what Darren describes in just a moment, I think just going forward, as tough as times are, we can certainly send prayers. We can certainly lend a hand. We can listen to people and we can make a difference. Just if we could all try to keep our eyes on others as we go forward. So with that, we welcome you to our fabulous 251st, you know what I'm trying to say, Sunday gathering. I'm going to pass it over to Darren.
Hello, Sandra. Hello, everyone, and a massive welcome to each and every one of you. Happy New Year! I'm sure it's still the early part of the year where I can still get away with saying that, because I haven't been on the Sunday gathering for a few weeks, and it's my first one of 2025, and number 251. And from the songs at the beginning, I'm sure you can guess where our themes come from this week. Our theme is about being green, being different, and being you. You know, and it has come from the film Wicked, which I got to see last week, I believe it was. And it's what's kind of inspired me for the theme of this week. So I hope you will enjoy it. I won't go into too much because it'll all be covered by the wonderful guys I've got with me on the panel here today. So you've got myself, who'll be doing the chairing. I'll also be doing the opening prayer, the reading, the healing, and part of the address. You've got our hostess with the mostest, Mrs. Sandra Champlain, who will be doing all the behind the scenes and all the orchestrating of this, playing the songs for us and the videos for us. And she'll also be kindly sharing her thoughts for the week at the end. And then you have the wonderful Dominic Boag, who will be doing today's closing prayer. He'll be sharing the address with myself, but he'll also be doing our demonstration of mediumship. The first one on We Don't Die from Dominic Boag in 2025. So let's all, pray for a good Sunday gathering, and I'm sure it will be full of fun and laughter. So to start us off, if you'd like to bow your heads and close your eyes and join me for today's opening prayer. We come together here today in love, peace and harmony as friends, brothers and sisters from across our lands. We come together here today, each and every one of us, to play our part in any way we can in our contribution towards this Sunday gathering. As we come together here today, we come together with the sole purpose of uniting the two worlds together once again under that banner of We Don't Die. And in coming here together today, we come together with no desires, no demands, but just allow our friends, helpers and loved ones in that world we call unseen, allow their thoughts and their words to cascade through our workers here today, for all here to absorb, to bring us those moments of healing, joy, laughter and upliftment. And in coming together here today, we do so with an open heart and an open mind, knowing that anything is possible. But we come together in a knowing and understanding that place of residence, language spoken, personal background, physical appearance, frame of mind, and personality holds no boundaries or barriers to all those in the unseen world, as each and every one of us is treated as equal, which allows us all to come together and absorb the joy and celebration of bringing the two worlds together once again, allowing us all to fall back into the arms of eternity and immerse ourselves in that unconditional love and that healing balm. And would like to thank all those in the unseen world for allowing us once again to walk hand in hand, side by side, and share your thoughts and your words here today. It truly is a joy and a privilege. So as we open up this Sunday gathering, we do so as always with joy and love within our hearts and our minds, and positivity in abundance, so that we truly can create that perfect meeting ground in which the two worlds can come together as one. And we ask, as always, more than ever, that that healing light continues to shine to all four corners of this world, bringing the joy, the peace and the love to all those that may be in need on this day. So without further ado, my friends, we welcome you here today. Amen. So I'm now going to go into our reading. I've got two short readings here for you. The first one is called The Cracked Pot. Some of you may have heard this before, I believe. A water bearer in China had two large pots. Each hung on the ends of a pole, which he carried across his neck. One of the pots had a crack in it, while the other pot was perfect and always delivered a full portion of water. At the end of the long walk from the stream to the house, the cracked pot arrived only half full. For a full 2 years this went on daily, with the bearer delivering only 1.5 pots full of water to his house. Of course, the perfect pot was proud of its accomplishments, perfect for which it was made. But the poor cracked pot was ashamed of its own imperfection and miserable that it was only able to accomplish only half of what it had been made to do. After 2 years of what it perceived to be a bitter failure, it spoke to the water bearer one day by the stream. I am ashamed of myself because this crack in my side causes water to leak out all the way back to your house. The bearer said to the pot, "Did you notice that there were flowers only on your side of the path, but not on the other pot's side? That's because I have always known about your flaw, and I planted flower seeds on your side of the path, and every day while we walk back, you've watered them. For 2 years, I have been able to pick these beautiful flowers to decorate the table. Without you being just the way you are, there would not be this beauty to grace the house." Okay, my second reading. Susan Thompson, as far back as she can remember, always practiced playing the piano. She even took lessons every week. But what stood out more than anything else was that she practiced every day for 4 hours. The problem was she was not meant to play the piano. No matter how much she practiced, she never got any better. Everyone asked her why she didn't give up. She explained that this was her one real joy in life. It was something that no one else could take away from her. You see, she was adopted, and as she was growing up, she always got the hand-me-downs from everyone else. Because she was the youngest in this family, there were a lot of hand-me-downs. The one thing that she could call her own was the piano her parents brought. Even if it was a used one, it was still hers because none of the other children had any interest in playing. Weeks became months and months became years. She never gave up. All through grade school and even into high school she practiced. Her piano teachers would from time to time let her play in a recital. They usually let her play last. That way the other parents could leave without hearing her. She was that bad. You might wonder why she was so bad. Was she tone deaf? Was she blind? No, she only had 8 fingers. All the piano teachers told her that she would never be any good because of that. But Susan never gave up. She would just smile and continue practicing. After she turned 24, she was working in Walmart as a cashier, and it would amaze people that she could handle almost anything with no problem. From bagging the items to counting the change back, Susan worked there for the next 15 years. She even became the head cashier in charge of the cashiers. One day as she was working, the store announced a call for her. This wasn't unusual, as from time to time her parents would have one of the children call her and ask her to bring something home from the store. But this day that wasn't the case. The call was from one of her sisters. She said that Dad had died and she needed to come home. So without hesitation, she called the supervisor and they gave her time off. On her ride home, she cried her heart out. You see, she always had a special spot in her heart for her dad. Even if he wasn't her natural father, he was the one who insisted that they buy the piano. He was the one that kept the family in check while she practiced. As bad as she sounded, he wouldn't let the other children tease her. 3 days later, after all the arrangements were made for the funeral, Susan asked to play. All the children were against this, but Mum insisted it would be fine. You have to understand that Dad was a man well liked and that his funeral will be well attended. The children didn't want the embarrassment of having to sit through one more of her playing piano, especially at her father's funeral. As Susan sat down at the piano, the church became so quiet you could have heard a pin drop. Everyone knew how she played. They all thought it was a wonderful way to honour her father. She started playing Amazing Grace, and the sound that came out of the piano was nothing they had heard before. It was like an angel playing. The notes were so clear, and Susan even added a few of her own. By the time she finished playing, there wasn't a dry eye in the church. As the last note faded away, Susan stood up and walked over to her dad and kissed him goodbye. She then went back to her seat and cried. After the service, the people flocked to her asking why she had never played like that before. She said today was the first day for the rest of his life that her dad could hear her play. You see, her dad was born deaf, and even though he'd gone to every one of her recitals, he had never heard her. She knew that today and forevermore he could now hear. Susan went on to play the piano for her church and many other functions. She also became a piano teacher. You would always hear her tell a new student that no matter how bad they were, at first they would learn to play. When asked how she knew this, she would simply say, "My father is listening." So we're now going to go into our healing segment. And we've got a song by Sting today called Desert Rose. And there's one line in there that I think is quite apt for what's going on in the world at the moment, where he says he dreams of rain. And I know we've got a lot going on across this world. You know, we've got wars, we've got famine, but we've also got, you know, the devastation that's going on in California at this moment in time. And I think the most powerful thing we can do is coming together as a group here today. And we never underestimate the power of healing and what it can do. So as we come together here today, let's vision together that rainfall coming down to help eradicate those fires, you know, and bring normality back to people's lives. You know, let's give people what they deserve. So let's come together here today, send out that love and send out that healing as we sit and listen to this song.
I think we're going over to Dominic first for the address.
Perfect. What a wonderful song. At first, I wasn't sure if it was an advertisement for a car there. I was like, what's going on? I've never heard that song. But today's theme, when Darren and myself were thinking about the theme today, we really stuck with the theme of being different. After, watching the Wicked movie, we thought, isn't it good to be different? Isn't it nice to actually be different? And it had us thinking about different and imperfections, and you know, we try so hard to actually be perfect, and we try so hard to fit in, don't we? And we deny ourselves. We deny ourselves of maybe truly being who we really are. I remember when I first started becoming aware of my ability with the spirit world, I was still in school and I didn't want my friends to think that I was crazy. I knew I was different, I didn't want my friends to think, oh, Dominic's an oddball. Let's keep away from him. Dominic's strange. He's different. And looking back, I actually denied myself. I denied my ability. And it took me a few years before I felt comfortable enough to be different. It took me a while to accept that I was different. You know, as a young boy, you try to keep up with your friends and, you try to be normal like everybody else. But I just wasn't that person. I just wasn't the boy that wanted to go play soccer or, you know, go do track or go do sports. I had no interest in that. And I always thought to myself, well, maybe that's wrong. Maybe I should be like the rest. And I'm sure you all have at some point felt a little bit different. Felt like maybe you didn't fit in, or felt like maybe everyone else was maybe in a different wavelength from you. I mean, let's face it, if you're here today, then you have a belief that's maybe different than some of your family members. I know someone very special on this screen knows what it's like to be different and have a different belief or a different view from other family members. And that's very difficult. That's very difficult. But here you are. Here you are honoring your difference. Here you are honoring what it is to just be you. And I think it's very important to remind yourself that it's okay to be different. I always say to my students when I teach, do not try to be like Dominic. That would be boring if all the mediums that I teach and train come out speaking and dressing or doing their mediumship like me. That's boring. One Dominic in this world is enough. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that's we only need one of me, trust me. But I always say to my students, go and be you. Go and figure out what your ability is, but I can't do this, or I don't get names, or I'm not clairvoyant. Big deal. Big deal. Go and see what your mediumship is like differently to other people. Go and see what the spirit world's seen in you and go and allow them to work with you. It's like Darren said with the young lady learning to play piano. It may not have been perfect. She may have played it differently because, well, she had abnormality, didn't she? She only had 8 fingers. So, of course, she's not going to play it perfect like Beethoven or Mozart, is she? No. She had to learn to play differently because she was different herself. And yes, maybe her family thought it was miserable and it didn't sound good. But by the sounds of it, it filled her with so much joy and so much happiness that why not? Why not be different? I think it's very important that when we look at life, if we accept that it would be a really boring world if we were all the same. Could you imagine, like, if every female wore their hair like Sandra, or if every man wore the same clothes as Darren? So that would be boring, wouldn't it? Where's the expression? Where's the expression of who we truly are? You know, one of the opening scenes in Wicked is, are people born wicked, or is wickedness pressed upon them? And if we look at the good witch and the bad witch, they're different. But what they do have is love. Eventually, without spoiling any storylines, eventually they come together and there's a love. They're able to put their differences aside and they're able to become one. Why can we not do that? Why is it in today's society that we are torn apart by religion, by wealth, by how we look, how we dress? it's crazy to think that in today's society there is still a stigma or a unfairness of when people are different. I think it's okay to be different, to be honest. I mean, let's face it, I talk to dead people. You don't get any more different than that, do you? But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because what I do with the spirit world, me and them can help make a difference in people's lives. And that for me fills me with so much joy and happiness. And yes, I'm sure there's people out there that will like to say that it's not a good thing, or, I'm digging up the dead, or I'm doing the devil work, whatever. Hey, I'm the devil, knock, knock. But again, why should I hide away my differentness just because someone else's view? No, I do it with a place of love and I do it with integrity and I do it because I know it can make a difference. And that's the most important thing. Some of you may come from a big family who may have been brought up in religion. And as you've grown yourself, maybe your view of life has become different from what you were brought up to know. Maybe you've steered off and thought, you know what? I don't need that anymore. I don't need that religion anymore. I hear many people say, my father always wants us to continue on the family business, but I don't want to do that. I have my own dream. I want to do something different. But they never make the change because they're scared to do that different thing in case it affects or upsets other people. One thing that you and I will all have in common is that we love and we have the right to feel loved. Whether we are black, white, gay, straight, we are entitled to be loved. And just because we are different doesn't mean that we should not be loved. But somewhere in our differentness, there is similarity. And that similarity is having love, compassion. I think it's very important as we look at the great artists of the world. If we look at the likes of maybe Dolly Parton and Lady Gaga and, these singers, they come with their own style of music, don't they? They come with a different way of hitting that high note and, maybe then bringing down a low note. They don't follow trends, they make them. If we look at Leonardo da Vinci or, all the artists, they don't paint all the same way. They have their own uniqueness. And they had that decision of, do I want to copy my peers or do I want to do me differently? She'll kill me for saying this, but if we look at Sandra, she wasn't the first person to do podcasts. She would have listened to many different podcasts, many different radio shows, but she chose to do hers her way. And maybe it's broken off a little bit differently, but hey, look how deep she is in now. Show me someone that's done all that work. She's chosen to be different. And again, she allowed herself to be herself. Sorry, Sandra, you can kill me later, but being different is okay. And I think whether we are a green witch or a fluffy pink witch, you're you. And that is the most important thing. Going back to me when I was in school, my friends always used to say to me, oh, are you coming out on Monday night? Are you coming out to play on Monday night? I would all say, oh, no, I can't. I've got something on. And then Wednesday would come, are you coming out Wednesday night? Do you want to come round to Carrie's house where we're going to get Domino's and we're going to watch the new scary... Oh, I can't come on Wednesday. Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays were the nights that I would go to my development circle to sit with old ladies in the dark and learn to communicate with the spirit world. And I didn't want to tell my friends because they would think I was different. And then when I started to date my partner, I would always say, "Oh, I can't meet you on Monday, so we'd need to date night Tuesday." "Oh, but I'm working Tuesday." "Oh, well, we'll find another day." "What about Wednesday?" "Oh, I can't meet you Wednesday, Mark, sorry." And it took me a long time through our dating and our courtship before I told him, "Well, actually, a Monday and a Wednesday and a Thursday is the night that I go to talk to dead people." So again, that was my insecurity of being scared to be different. And if we fast forward now, 33, my differenceness has taken me all over the world. I've met so many beautiful people. I've met happy people. I've met people in grief, people who are broken, people that don't even know themselves or don't even have a desire to stay in this beautiful world. And just being able to meet them and have a conversation with them, I was able to help make a difference in their life. So I guess what I'm trying to say on my little soapbox is, ladies and gentlemen, be different. If you want to go out there and dye your hair pink, you dye your hair pink. If you want to shave it all off, shave it all off. If you want a crazy tattoo, get a crazy tattoo. It would be too boring if we were all the same. So go out there and bring your differentness into this world, because who knows? Being different may actually bring something special into this world. So again, just remember, as we look at all the artists, if we look at, Steve Jobs creating something different, taking that risk of, will people know what I'm talking about with a computer, or will they know what this is? Someone has to be different, because different leads into new change and inspiration. So be different. That's my words for you today. So Darren, hopefully you have something different to say.
Thank you, Dominic. I'll try and think of something different to say. But as Dominic was talking, a lot of that resonated with me back then, and I'm sure it does with you guys as well. If you think back to your younger years, for some of us like me, you've got to cast your mind back quite a way to when you was at school, when you started off. How many of you felt when you was in school you were different? You were weird. You was the wacky one. Because I certainly did. Like Dominic said, I felt out of place. I didn't feel like I belonged there for whatever reason. And maybe it's because the people that was around at the time made us feel that way. They made me feel like I didn't belong. Yeah, it's not to say I didn't have friends, I had friends, but you felt like some of the friendships were false. They weren't genuine, they weren't true. Because at that age, you're so naive and so influential. You behave in certain ways to be with certain people or to be friends with certain people. But deep down, you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel happy, you don't feel right. And I think it's because we're pretending to be somebody we're not. And, as the years progress and you learn to live a bit and you've been out in the world a bit and you become more confident, like Dominic said, you start to open up to your true self. You start to be yourself because you're not limited then. Within school, you're limited to X amount of people around you. But when you're out in the big wide world, there's so many more avenues and options. If you don't like that job, you go to another job. If you don't like that group of friends, you can change. There's so many options. But in school, you're limited. So you start to flourish and become yourself and become who you truly are. And actually, you start to learn, and I started to learn, as you do grow up, from high school going into college and on to work and that, you think, actually, I'm not so strange. There's other people like me. There's other people that, believe things I believe, or like things that I like, or enjoy things that I like. And like Dominic said, sometimes when your friends ask you, do you want to come out to play or do you want to do this? You kind of make excuses not to when you're younger because you don't really want to. You don't believe or enjoy what they're doing. So you kind of make excuses. But I find as you get older, you express yourself more. You become comfortable in yourself. And hopefully, a lot of you guys are finding the same thing as you're getting older. And as you get older and older, you find it more and more, and you become, when you think back to why are we like that? What makes us this way? Is it other people or is it us? And I think it's a combination of both. We listen to people around us, but we kind of listen to that niggling voice in our head. We can't do this. We can't say that. We can't behave like that. You can't be who you are. Like Dominic said, he couldn't tell his friends about being into mediumship because you felt, you're straight away you're going to be ostracized or you're going to be criticized or judged or whatever you want to do it. But when you get older, like me, you think to yourself sometimes, do you know what? I don't care. I am who I am. And if people don't like it, hey, that's their issue, not mine. As long as I'm happy and people around me are happy, that's all that matters in life. You're not here to please everyone or be everyone's best friend or fit into people's criteria or whatever it is. And again, if you look back at the story that I spoke about with a lady playing the piano, and we've all had it. How many times do we get told, you can't, you won't, you never will? And again, I think back now and I think, how dare that person tell me that I can't do that? What gives that person that power, that knowledge to say that I can't or anyone can't? The girl with the piano. What gives someone the power to tell that person they can't fulfill that, that dream, that ambition? What are they the greater power that they understand or see more than they can? No, it's just another person. It's like me saying to Dominic, you can't do mediumship. And it's like me saying to Sandra, you can't do podcasts. Well, hey, here they are both doing it. But if I said to them, many, many years back, you can't do this, you can't do that, can you imagine how different the world would be if they wasn't doing what they're doing today? Hopefully people may have said that to them in the past, and they thought, do you know what? I am who I am. I'm going to do what I believe in, and here I am today doing it. And that's how we should all kind of think and believe. That's how I think and believe now, living a little bit and experiencing life a little bit. But how many of you out there have been referred to as special? Whether it's by a loved one, a friend, a close, whoever it may be. But do you know what? You are special. And do you know why you're special? It's because you're all unique. Each and every one of us here on this Sunday gathering here today is unique. And do you know why? Because you possess those characteristics, those behaviors that differentiate you from everyone else and define who you are. And do you know what? Each and every one of us is different to each other. Absolutely. Where me, Sandra, Dominic, we're all completely different people. We look different. We act different. We talk different. We dress different. We're completely, you couldn't get complete different people. But do you know what? That's what makes us all special. That's what makes us all unique. If I said to you guys, summarize Sandra in 3 words, you'd all give me 3 words that would summarize Sandra. If I said summarize Dominic in 3 words, you'd have 3 completely different words to summarize him. And like myself. And if we did it with all you guys, if we all did it to each other, summarize everyone in 3 words, hopefully we should all have 3 different words to categorize ourselves. That's what makes us special. That's what makes us unique. And that's how we should live. When we look at some of the greats, that have gone before us or are still around, you've got Helen Keller. She had no sight, no hearing, become one of the greatest authors, became a speaker. Can you imagine her in her early years? She was probably told you can't do those things. But look what she's done. Beethoven, one of our best composers of all time in terms of music, he became deaf, but still continued to compose the best music or considered the best music. Can you imagine what he was told by people? You can't. That's impossible. No way. Well, hey way, he did it. Stevie Wonder, born blind, become one of our biggest singers internationally. Can you imagine what he was told when he was younger? You can't. You won't. But you know what? And I've mentioned this before in previous Sunday gatherings. When people say to me, you can't, you won't, to me, that's like a red rag to a bull, because I will do my damnedest to prove you that I can. And I think, I wish I had that in my younger years. I did. Like Dom said, when you're younger, you're impressionable, you try to fit in. But looking back, if I was like that in my younger years, I believe I'd be stronger now than what I am now, if that makes sense. But hey, you know, we can't change the past. We can't change who we are. And, you know, how many of you look in the mirrors at times? I wish I was taller. I wish my hair was different. I wish my eyes were different. I wish, you know, whatever it may be. Do you know what? Be thankful and be grateful for what we have. As long as you're here, breathing and happy, let's be grateful for what we have. And I'm a great believer, you can't change what you can't change. You know, I can't make my hair thicker. I mean, I can do it with, I can make different colors with my hair and stuff. I can't change the color of my eyes. I can't change how broad I am, how muscular I am. I can't change certain things about me. But hey, do you know what? I'm happy with that. Hopefully everyone else is happy with it. If they're not, hey, that's their problem, not mine. But do you know what? We was brought on this earth, and my mum used to say it to me a lot when I was younger. When God made you, he broke the mold. And you probably all heard that saying in many different variations. And how true is that? When we were made by whoever, you know, we was made to be different. We was put in this world to be unique. We was put in this world to be us. So let's all live happily, happily together, being different and being unique. And that's truly what will make this world a wonderful place. And I believe it does with our Sunday gathering people. You know, you are all different, you are all unique, but that's what makes you special. And remember, being special is about being unique and having the characteristics to define who you are. So keep smiling and keep being different. And I'll hand you on to Sandra.
Thank you so much, Dominic and Darren, for your wonderful words for the address. You know, I was thinking of those three words. Darren, the first three words that came to mind with you are wise, caring, and sangria. With that, we're going to turn to our demonstration of mediumship, and we have our wonderful friend Dominic here with us today, providing a medium demonstration in his own unique way with the unique folks in the spirit world. So I know for many, this is your very first time on a Sunday gathering. We have people who have been with us in the past, so just a little reminder how this part goes. Dominic will work with our friends and loved ones in the spirit world in his own unique way. They have this all orchestrated on their side. I know each and every one of us would like to have a reading from our loved one, but like Darren picked our order of service today and Dominic helped with the music, those in the spirit world come together to determine who's going to be working with our medium so that we all feel that presence of the spirit world. So I say, no matter who comes through for which person in our gathering today, you pull their evidence towards you. You take some of it on for yourself, because I hope between the words that have been shared so far, they have impacted your lives. So same works with the spirit world that way. So Dominic will put out his request out, however he does that, and there will be some friends in the spirit world that present themselves to him using thoughts, using feelings, using memories, using maybe pictures in his mind, songs in his ears, flavors on his tongue, maybe. Who knows? He will give a few initial bits of information about the person that has contacted him. So we are still people when we migrate to the other side. We still have our personalities, which is awesome. And we see that so evident on our Sundays. Our loved ones could be people that we know and loved in our lifetime. They could be people we worked with. They could be people that are a little bit distant to us, but they're part of our circle, so to speak. Those in the spirit world know exactly who's watching and listening to our Sunday gathering today. So you could be out for a walk right now thinking, nobody knows what you're doing. Oh, but those in the spirit world know you are with us. So we want everybody on the edge of your seat as Dominic gives the description of this person in the spirit world. And if you can understand all the information that he shared as somebody that you know that no longer walks on this earth, we want you to press your raise hand button. So now this is the time for everybody to find your raise hand button on your device. Press it for me. If you're on an iPad or a phone, sometimes you have to press three little dots before you'll see the raise hand button. This is important. It truly is important because we have, or close to 200 people from around the world with us today. That's a big group. And we want you to just have integrity. If only press that raise hand button if you can understand all the information that he shared, okay? Because sometimes people can take a little bit, and the next thing you know, we've got 20 people with their hands raised, all just taking that little bit. So do us a favor. Don't press your raise hand button unless you can take all of it, all right? So why it's important also, this raise hand button, is because sometimes there's 2 or more people that can take all the information. Dominic will continue to work so that we are left with 1 hand raised. So you'll see that raise hand button, and now it changes to lower hand button. So all of you that have raised your hand, go ahead and lower your hand. If you are somebody that works with our medium on a Sunday gathering, or anytime you work with a medium, we're going to ask you to do this. Just say yes, no, or I don't know to the information that they share. It's human nature to want to share everything about your loved one, but what makes us really believe that our medium is connecting to loved ones in the spirit world is that they provide the information. Okay, so just say yes, no, or I don't know to the information. If you are somebody who's that last hand up, what I do on my side is I press a button, and you'll get a flash across your screen that says host would like you to unmute. And then, and only then, will that unmute button appear to you. We won't see you, fear not, you won't be on screen, but it's nice to hear your voice. All right, so all we're going to ask again is when you talk to the medium, when they give the evidence, just say yes, no, or I don't know. It really, truly is as simple as that. We can hear in your excitement. We really can when you say yes, when you can understand something. And be honest, if something is no, no simply means new opportunity. And we do the very best we can for you. So again, pull those readings toward you. There will be some people in our community that will get readings today, but those spirit friends speak to all of us. They really do. We always like to play a piece of music before we go into our demonstration. And it's the medium's choice what the song is. And this one is from the movie Wicked. And it just dawned on me, the medium gets into the zone playing a good piece of music, to be able to connect with the spirit world. What about us? Why don't we play some more of our favorite tunes in life and see what transpires? That's just a little tidbit of thought I had. So let me play our song from Wicked, and then we'll be right back with our medium demonstration with the fabulous Dominic Boag. Here we go, girls from Wicked. That gives me goosebumps, that song. I love it. Hello again, Dominic.
Just fills me with so much excitement. It really, really does. But anyway, let's see who comes to communicate with us today, and see what beautiful messages we receive. But just as I'm starting to allow my awareness to go to the spirit world, I am aware of a young gentleman that steps forward here just now. And he tells me he is your father. And I know that he would have went to the spirit world very young as I connect here with him. And I do feel as he also connects here with me, his English would not have been perfect. So I know that he would have a different language as his primary language to speak. But I know that Dad takes responsibility for his condition. I know that he either suffered with alcoholism or had too much drink or alcohol that he would have suffered with. But I know as he connects here with me, he feels that he goes to the spirit world without getting to say goodbye to his daughter. Okay, I know as I connect here with him, I feel I want to go more either into Europe or Germany or Sweden. I feel I'm across Europe rather than being in America with this man as I connect here with him. But as I connect here with him, he comes along with a lot of regrets, and we will get into that as I connect. But I know that there's elements of feeling he doesn't get to say goodbye to his daughter as I connect with him.
Thank you very much. Who understands this gentleman? Go ahead and press your raise hand button. Dominic, we have 3 with their hands raised.
Wonderful. Let me just dig a little bit more. I am very aware, just as I connect here with him, I do feel Dad maybe in his early 40s, mid 40s. I don't feel he makes it to 50 as I connect here with him.
Thank you very much. And we've had some hands go down and one remains. So we have Shelley. Shelley, if you could press your unmute button, please.
Oh my God.
Hi,
Hey,
Shelley.
Shelley.
Hi.
Just to clarify, sweetie, you understand this is Dad?
It's for my daughter. It's for
Or
my
your
daughter.
daughter? Okay, sweetie. And you understand why I would get the impression of feeling, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, and I mean this with integrity, sweetie, but he feels now, looking back in the spirit world, where he failed a lot, or where he feels he had failed yourself or failed his daughter, if I can say that to you, sweetie. Would you understand that?
Profoundly.
Yeah, because I know that I want to talk about it's now time that I show you I'm taking responsibility for my actions. And I know that when he was here, he didn't just suffer with the alcohol, like I said, but I feel he would have had mental issues or wasn't able to fully understand or communicate very well with what was going up here as well, darling. Would you agree with that?
It wasn't alcohol, it was something else, but yes.
Okay, but it would have been addiction or it would have been through his own causes, correct?
He, in an earlier part, was on very serious drugs. I did not know him, but
That's okay.
he
That's
had
okay, but
he had,
after
yes, mental health problems,
yeah,
yes.
okay, sweetie, that's fine. And again, I didn't feel that he had great English. So would there be connections to him speaking a different language as well?
He did not speak English.
Okay, perfect. That's fine, sweetie, because I know as I connect you with him, it's a lot more of telepathy he's using rather than using his verbal words. So he's giving me his thoughts is this way. But I did get the impression of needing to say that he didn't get to say goodbye to his daughter, correct?
Very correct.
Yep, because I know I want to talk about his departure. I know I want to talk about the scene of his passing, the way he's passed away. He keeps telling me to say that he's now learned. He's now learned that he could have got help. He's now learned that he would have had so much more support. But he keeps telling me to tell you that it was his job, it was his journey to love his daughter and to protect his daughter from the spirit world rather than what he was able to do when he was here, darling. Okay, and I know that's a bittersweet pill to swallow, but he needs you to know that he feels he's in the best place. He's more healthier and happier rather than the way that things were when he was here physically, darling. Okay. He
Yeah,
does
his
tell me
daughter is in trouble now.
that's okay. That's okay. But I know that I just have to say it's his job to be looking after her or protecting her from spirit now. So you take that as a message in itself, darling, that he's active or he's actioning what is needed at the moment. Okay. I do feel as he connects here with me as well, he is telling me to say that if he could turn back time and relive the life that you and him had together, he would have appreciated so much more than what he showed as well, darling, because it wasn't just himself that he was harming or affecting, if I can say that to you. He now sees the pain and the hurt that he was actually causing you as well. Okay. But he just keeps trying to give me that whole element of please believe that I'm doing much better for you both now than what I ever could have been when I was here. Okay, so please know that, sweetie, that he's trying everything within his power to support you both now from the spirit world rather than what he was able to do when he was here. He's quite funny because he just keeps saying to me, he says, I was a lost cause, young man. I was a lost cause. So I feel it's important for you to realize that whatever his struggles were no longer burden him, darling. Okay. And I feel like he's just trying to show that he's much healthier and happier. And he keeps telling me to reassure you that you are more than a good mother. Please do not second guess yourself because you are giving yourself such a hard time at the moment, thinking, am I failing? Where should I be doing better? What can I be doing? And he says to me, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing because I am here now. I am here now. Okay, sweetie. So please
Yeah.
take peace of mind knowing that he's doing his best to help and support you both at this difficult time, sweetie. Okay. But sincerely, thank you so much, Shelley, for allowing me to connect with you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Keep strong, okay? Thank you. So I'm very much aware of mum stepping forward. No, I'm very much aware of grandma stepping forward from the spirit world, actually. And as I'm connecting with this lady, I keep hearing the name Pat or Patricia as I connect here with her. And I know she connects here with me. She keeps making me feel this great sense of having such a wicked sense of humor. Like I feel she was quite funny. She was so joking. As much as maybe she was an older lady or a maturer lady, she was a piece of work. She was fun. She wasn't boring. Certainly what I want to say here. But I know as much as she would be your grandma, she in a sense would have either raised you or you would have lived with her. I know that emotionally she feels like your mum, but I know she would be your grandma as I connect here with her. But the moment that I connect here with her, she keeps bringing my attention to feeling that we were always together. You looked out for me, you loved me, you supported me. But then I feel either you move away or you were on vacation and she passes to the spirit world because I feel we didn't get to say goodbye. We didn't get to see each other before she passes. So I know there would have been an element of her passing, taking a turn for the worse relatively quick, is what I need to say here. Now, in the back of my mind as I connect, I just feel I want to say something like heart failure or her heart just gives up. Is the easiest way that I could describe in some way. I don't know if there's a Diane or Diana, but I hear a name that sounds very similar to this as well as I connect with this beautiful lady.
Thank you very much. If you understand all this information, go ahead and press your raise hand button for us. All right. We have Dana with her hand
Dana.
raised. Dana,
Enough.
hello.
That'll be good.
Oh, Joanna
Hi.
raised her hand as well, just so you know.
Okay. Hey, Diana.
Hi.
How you doing? Would you understand this being grandma, sweetie?
I can take everything except Pat or Patricia.
Okay. Okay. That's okay, but you understand everything else, sweetie, yes?
Yes.
Okay. I'll throw back and see where I get the. I feel like I would say Trish, like Trisha. Okay.
Mm,
But let me just throw back and see what she comes back with. But would I be correct to say that this lady would have been very influential of your upbringing, sweetie?
absolutely,
Yep.
yes.
And again, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but she is a firecracker. Like I actually see her like playing jokes on people. Like the only thing she didn't have was a whoopee cushion. Do you know what I mean? Like she's playing tricks on people. She's, playing card games. Like she's
Ah,
hustling. Like she had it all going on, correct?
she did play tricks on people, but yes, for the card games and a firecracker
Yep.
and sense of humor. Yes.
Perfect. And would I be correct to say that either you were away or you weren't able to be with her when she passes, sweetie?
I had moved away. By the time I got there, she was in a coma.
That's okay. That's okay because she does say to me, she says she knows that I loved her. That's all that matters. She says, but I
Yes.
need to let her know that I heard her tell me that she loves me. And you didn't just tell her you loved her, you thanked her for being such an inspirational woman to you, for the love you gave her. It wasn't just a I love you, grandma. You privately said your own words to her as well. Would that be true?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
And she keeps
absolutely. Yes.
telling me to say that she was so naughty because when you were younger, she made it out to be a game to have you help clean the house or to polish the table. Like she made it out like a game to have you doing chores is the easiest way that I could describe here. And I just feel with the greatness of respect, she taught you so much. She gave you so much. And I feel she taught you how to keep a home. She taught you how to look after your bills. She gave you so much, darling, and she keeps telling me to say that you have always made her proud. Always made her proud. And she keeps telling me to acknowledge to you that even though we didn't get the moment consciously, she says, I knew. I knew you'd come. I knew you'd come. And she keeps telling me to say she remembers you trying to either pat her hair down or move her hair, but there was something to do with you trying to almost like fix her, darling. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Yeah, because she just keeps saying to me, "You thought I wasn't there." She says, "Oh, but I missed nothing in this life, and you know." And I feel in her own way, sweetie, she knew everything. Nothing got past her. Nothing. And she's still very much the same as what I need to say. Um, she keeps showing me what I can only describe to you like donuts. And I don't know why, but I almost feel like you would have memories of either icing or glazing your own donuts with her, or these treats and whatever. But I almost get the impression of what she would have treasured would be spending the time doing these things with you, baking and cooking and whatever, and then being able to sit down and have a cup of coffee and dunk the donut in or something. But you must have memories of spending time having good old treats and coffee and conversation with her, sweetie.
Similar, yes,
Yep,
something
yep.
very similar. Yep.
Perfect. I know also, just as she connects here with me, she tells me to say that her passing was as simple as one, two, three, baby. One, two, three. So I know that she goes to the spirit world very, very
Fantastic.
much with ease, if I can say that to you, darling. Okay, very much with
Fantastic.
ease. Very quickly, just as I get into this a little bit more, where would I get the conversation of someone wishing or wanting to go and visit Elvis's house in Graceland?
My
Do you understand
my
that?
my yes. Well, my daughter my daughter liked Elvis when she was a young child, and
Yep.
my grandmother bought her every single Elvis thing she could ever find from
Wow.
antique stores and swap meets and everything. And at Christmas time, my daughter just got flooded with Elvis gifts.
Because I just keep getting this thing of like the Elvis and having conversations like, when you're older, I'll take you to Graceland or I'll take you to the King's house kind of feeling.
My mom,
So
my grandma didn't care for Elvis at all, but my daughter did. Uh,
fabulous.
yeah,
Fabulous. Well, that's just her way of just revalidating with you
yeah.
about the conversations and the things that we done, sweetie. So I want you to take comfort knowing that this beautiful lady has never truly left your side, has she? She's still very
No,
much there with you, still
she
very much
sends
a
me
part
signs
of
all
you.
the time.
Do you know, I just keep wanting to give you a big bunch of what I would say daffodil flowers. You know, the yellow
Uh-huh.
orange
Uh-huh.
daffodils. So I want to give you those from her. And I
Thank
don't know
you.
why. I don't feel if there's a symbolism, but I just
Mm-mm.
feel that's what she wants to give you, sweetie. Okay. So
Thank
keep
you.
being you, keep doing what you're doing, and spread that love from her. Let the family know she misses nothing. She's watching, y'all. She's watching. Darren,
She
thank you very
sure is.
much for allowing me to chat with you, sweetie.
Oh, thank you so much.
You are
Thank you.
so very welcome. Thank you. So I'm very much aware of a gentleman stepping forward here just now. And as I connect here with him, um, I do feel I do feel he would have been cared for at home by his wife. I know that I want to talk about being cared for at home by my wife. I know that I either have lung cancer or asbestosis. I know there would be issues with this man's lungs that I feel may have been contributed through his work in some way, but we will maybe address that as we go forward. But I know my wife looks after me. I keep getting the feeling of needing to say Ken or Kenny, Kenneth, that would be connected with him. And I also feel Bob or Bobby being mentioned as well here. I don't know if this is like brothers or friends he's with in the spirit world, but he's very sociable. He's got this huge smile on his face, and I feel he may have been maybe on the bigger side, but through his health and through treatment, he becomes much smaller in some way. But I want to talk about a guitar, and I almost feel like there may be memories of playing guitar or watching someone playing the guitar with him, but the guitar seems very important. But my wife cares for me or looks after me at home for maybe a 6 month period, give or take. But that's what I need to be connecting with is the care at home.
Thank you very much. And if you could take all of this information, go ahead and press your raise hand button. And I emphasize all. We have two people with their hands raised. A
Two.
gentleman and a lady. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. I'm going to. I feel I should be connecting with his wife. That's what I feel. I want to be looking for the wife that cared for me at home. So the wife should be with us today.
Let's see. We have Sharon with her hand raised. Sharon, if you could press your
Hello.
unmute button. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Sharon. Would you understand this information, sweetie?
Everything but the guitar.
Okay, sweetie, I'll get into that. Maybe he's just, I don't know, but we will get into it, sweetie. But I do get the impression you would have cared for him at home. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Yes, because I know the moment he connected with me, he keeps talking to me about wanting to give you so much appreciation. He wants to tell you you cared for him correctly. I know there was moments where maybe professionals or other people in the family were telling you you're not doing this correct, or you need to do this, or you need to get him help, and you stood by your word and your promise that you promised you would care for him and look after him at home. Do you understand what I mean by this?
Yes.
Yep, because I know he keeps telling me to say he knows it was difficult for you. He knows it was hard for you. He says, but I appreciate you being there by my side morning, noon, and night. Okay, morning, noon, and night. And I know if I can say to you, sweetie, as well as he connects here with me, he lights up the room like he's got this great smile, this great energy. And I feel it was very difficult to see him being sociable and around his family and friends and making people laugh and joking to maybe becoming so weak and so frail and unable. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Yep. I know that I want to let you know I'm back to my old self. I'm back to my old tricks, is the easiest way that I could say to you here. Did he always wear hats, darling, or caps?
Yes, at work. Yes.
Yep, because I know that I want to say to you, I've got my hats back on and I'm ready to go. Ready to go. That's how he makes me feel here, sweetie. I do feel now, you can't really see my hands. They're nice and small, but I've got long fingers. But I feel your beautiful husband would have had big hands, almost like a shovel, if I can say that to you, sweetie. Is that true?
Not too big, no. No.
Okay, because I feel I want to talk about you and him holding hands. Okay, so I feel that when he passes to the spirit world, you're holding his hand. But did he squeeze you or anything, sweetie?
Um, during his passing, no.
Because I can't change it. I'm not changing it. Okay, he makes me feel there's an emphasis on him holding your hand. There's an emphasis on the
Yeah.
big hands holding your hand.
We
Is
held,
what I
yeah,
need to say.
we held hands, but he wasn't able to squeeze it.
Okay. Well, I just feel there's this emphasis on if it didn't have the really big hands, much bigger than yours or something, but there was an
Yeah.
emphasis, if I can just
Yeah.
say to you, sweetie, okay? And do you also have a son?
Yes.
Yeah, because I know that I want to talk about a great sense of pride or watching over my son and seeing the family or the life that he's went on and created as well. And I feel as much as he wants to say thank you and share love to you, he wants to thank your son for the words or what he had spoken or what he said about dad. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Yes, because he keeps telling me to say, he's done me so proud. He's done me so proud. Okay. He's done me so proud. I think I could have moved, but do you and your husband, did you ever take a trip to Miami?
Mm, no.
Mm.
I don't recall.
Okay, okay. I may be moving then, sweetie. Let me just double check just a little bit more. Um, Okay, I'm going to keep my guitar because I think I've got a new connection with that, sweetie. But I know he wants you to know that the way that you supported him and loved him and kept him going, even when maybe the odds were stacked against us, he wants to thank you for that, sweetie. You kept him going. You gave him another moment to keep fighting. And he also tells me to say that when he did get to the spirit world, he felt like the weight of the world being lifted off his shoulders, sweetie. Okay, so please know that he's very happy, sweetie. And I just feel he's giving you that extra strength and that extra keep going type of feeling. So I know that things are a little bit difficult at the moment without crying too
Yes.
much. But he just
Yes.
keeps saying, you've got this. Come on, baby girl. You've got this. You've been through worse. Come on. Come on. He's your biggest cheerleader. Like, come on. Come
Yes.
on. So
Yes, he
keep
was.
doing what you're doing, sweetie, okay? Because he's there. He's there, sweetie. And you've been saying to him, why are you not with me? Why are you not giving me a sign? Why? I always say to people, when it seems quiet, be patient because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Okay, sweetie?
Okay.
So, thank you so much for allowing me to chat
Oh,
with you, sweetie.
thank you. Thank you
You're
very much.
very welcome. You're so welcome. So I'm very much aware of a younger male stepping forward, and I know that he is my gentleman, my male with the guitar. Because it's came back in very clear. It's an acoustic guitar. It's not an electric guitar. I don't know why that's relevant, but we'll get to it. But I know I want to talk about connections to Miami because he keeps telling me to mention Miami as I connect here with him. Okay. I feel there may be a connection to Anton, Anthony, Tony, as I'm connecting here with him. And I also feel as he connects here with me, he would have went to the spirit world suddenly. Okay, because again, I feel there's this feeling of his passing being a shock or his passing being quick to a degree of people not knowing what to do or what happened, is the easiest way that I can say. I also feel Mikey or Michael being called in with him as well as I connect here with him. I almost feel I'm cousin. I don't know why, but I almost feel like I may be your cousin or we connect as cousins in some way. It's a little weird, but that's the impression that I get at the moment. One more thing, buddy. Come on, come on. I don't know if there's like a Julie, Julia, Julianne. I feel like a J female name that should be significant with the family in some way as well. But I need to make the connection to the memories in Miami.
Thank you very much. All right, friends, who understands this, go ahead and press your raise hand button. Well, we have our friend Lisa with her hand raised. Hello, Lisa.
Hi, Sandra. Hi, Dominic.
Hey, Lisa. Just very
Hi.
quickly, sweetie, do you understand where I get the thing about Miami, please?
Yes.
Fabulous. And you understand the connection to Anton, Tony, Anthony,
Michael.
and Michael? Perfect. Okay. And do you understand the guitar?
Yes.
Fabulous. I know as I connect here with him, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I feel he's coming forward and the family and the friendship and, trying to really talk about coming togetherness. And I feel there's an element of him wanting to bring everyone together, wanting to bring the family together. So I feel there may be talk of a get together this year or like a reunion type thing where the family should be coming together. Do we know this?
Yes.
Perfect. Because I feel like he's there. He's like, "Dun, dun, 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 I'm going to be there. I can't wait. I'm so excited." But I know that he's excited with this because of his passing being such a shock or being so unexpected. Would that be true?
Yes.
And I know if I can say to you as he connects here with me, he tries to come forward and almost like relieve his family. He wants to relieve them with tell them not to be worrying about me anymore. Tell them that I'm happy, I'm fine. They don't need to worry no more. I'm okay. I'm good, is what he makes me feel here. Do you know if he ever liked a little flutter or a little roam around a casino at any points?
Yes.
Yeah, because I feel like he's like, put $10 on red or whatever. I just feel like he had good times.
Actually,
And
I just won 3 jackpots at the casino last week,
no.
just by accident.
Well, if you want proof that your cousin's around you, then there you go. Of all things you can come talk about, it's a casino. But again, sweetie, I just feel he's like psyched, he's pumped for you. He's like, yes, whoa, feeling is the easiest way that I can say to you. It's very strange what I'm about to say because now I keep seeing Cape Cod, which is obviously in Massachusetts. So would there be any memories or any connections to Cape Cod?
Yes.
Because I keep seeing this, but it's interesting because I feel there may be a hoodie or a sweater with a Cape Cod, print or logo or something on it is the easiest way that I could describe here. If I talk about family here alive, would there be a young brother or a cousin or something? Where would I get the impression of a young boy, a young male who plays
Yes.
football?
Yes.
Yep, because I know that I want to talk about he goes to watch him, he goes to see what's going on with him and see how he's doing, is what I want to say as well. I'm kind of saying, why are you here, what's going on? And I think he just wanted to come and say that he's been with you. He was so pumped to see you win that. Thankfully, he's not taking responsibility for making you win, which is interesting, but he just keeps telling me to talk about this family coming together. I almost feel it's like an anniversary or a wedding. It feels like an event that he's going to be there. He's going to be there and celebrating with you as you all come together. I want you just to bear in mind as he shows me this guitar, there's a photograph of him wearing a white t-shirt and he's holding the guitar. Okay. Because it seems like he's also showing me this memory, and I feel he's now mastered. You know that song, I am the one and only dude. I think it's
Yes.
Brian Adams. I don't know who sings it actually. But he keeps making me feel he's singing this. Okay, he's singing this. So in some way, sweetie, he was the one, he was the only, and no one is quite like him because he was different in his own unique way as well, sweetie.
Yes, I have the picture of him with the guitar with the white shirt right here.
Perfect. Yeah, because really, okay, because this is just how
Yeah.
he presents himself, sweetie, okay? So sincerely, please know that when you all come together, he will be there. He will be there. Do you have a cat that's sick? Or has someone been talking about a cat that's maybe needing to go to the vet or having issues?
A friend of mine's cat.
Okay, because he just keeps telling me to say, remember, the pets have dignity. Okay, the
Oh, yeah.
pets have dignity. Okay,
He
my
always
darling.
said that.
Seriously. Okay. Well, sincerely, thank you so much for allowing me to share this beautiful moment with you and with him. So sincerely, thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you, Dominic, so much.
You're so welcome. Much love to you. Sandra, do we have time for one more?
Yes, we do. How about one more?
Okay. Okay. So I'm very much aware of what feels to me brother stepping forward from the spirit world here. And I know as I connect here with him, he was very what's the word I want to use? Very loving but very naughty. And what he keeps telling me to say is he didn't always do the right things. He didn't always make the right choices. I almost feel he had his struggles, he had stuff going on, but then I feel he turns life around, he gets better, and he then starts to live a good life. I almost feel there may have been memories of him being a chef or being a cook or working with food. In some ways, I'm connecting here with him because I feel like I want to talk about food and all that beautiful stuff. As I connect, I know that there should be a connection to Stevie, because I keep hearing Stevie, that's being mentioned with him. I know as he connects here with me, he does make me feel after getting better and getting his life on track and everything turning good, eventually there would have been a weakness in his heart. So I know that the heart would have then caused him to pass to the spirit world, is what I feel here with him. But the thing about the brother and being connected to his brother, I feel there's this feeling of being mega close, super close to the point that when he wasn't doing great and when he was maybe being a little rascal or a rogue, you still supported him, you still helped him. He may have couch surfed at your home, you may have gave him some money, but you had his back, is what he keeps bringing to my attention. You had his back. Okay. I keep getting this B feelings. I don't know if there's like a Beth or a Bernie or Bernadette or anything, but I keep getting this B female name as well. So it's a lot, I know, but that's what I've got at the moment with this beautiful man.
Thank you very much. All right, friends, who understands this beautiful man, press your raise hand button, please. All right, Barbara has her hand
Oh,
raised.
that's a B.
That's a B. Barbara, if
I
you
get
could press
excited,
your
it's terrible.
unmute button. No, be excited.
Hey,
We are
Barbara.
too.
Do you understand this information, sweetie?
I do, yes.
Perfect, perfect. And again, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I feel he was a little rascal sometimes. Would you agree?
We both were.
And I love it. I love it because I feel that this is important because I feel like, you know what, actually, I kind of feel when you say this, you know, like Sonny and Cher, you know, like the closeness with them.
Yeah.
I got you, babe. I got you, babe. This is what I keep hearing. So I know that you always had his back. You were there for him when he needed you the most. Okay. But that's the impression he keeps giving me. But did he at any point like work in a kitchen or work handling food in some way, sweetie?
He used to like to cook.
Okay, because I feel like I want to say to you, he's in his happy place because he's cooking, and I just feel like he's, you know, cutting up like a professional would, he's flipping it like a professional would. So, you know, he
Mhm.
fancied himself a bit of a Gordon Ramsay, if I can say that to you, sweetie. Okay, but again, I know as he connects here with me, it does make me feel that in some way there was this strange weakness with his heart. It's almost like I feel we didn't know there was an issue or we didn't expect the issue, but I know that there would have been this weakness with his heart, sweetie. Is that correct?
Well, he had a bit of an art failure, I think it was.
Okay, that's okay. Because he just keeps bringing to my attention, like, being frustrated that when he was starting to get good and life being good and things coming back on track, then this happens, is the easiest way that I could describe here, you see. And may I ask you, did he, to your knowledge, ever spend any vacation time or even together in Spain at all?
He did go to Spain and also
Yep.
Cyprus, yes.
Perfect. Because I know that I want to talk about him flicking through his memories, almost like his postcards of, and this is when I was here, and this is when I was in the Costas, and and I feel that as much as life was not a walk in the park for him, he certainly was a man of adventure, if I can say that to you, sweetie. And he
Yes.
certainly was a man that he would go out and get it, and don't ask questions. Don't ask questions, but this is what I've got. You see, so I feel he was able to get things or acquire things, and that saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. He
Yeah.
was good with that, is certainly what I want to say to you, sweetie. I do feel as he's connecting here with me, he keeps showing me what I can only describe to you, sweetie, is a birthday card, okay? And I feel like he's saying happy birthday. So I know that as we're in January at the moment, there must be someone's birthday that we're getting cards for, or we're going to be celebrating. But he's bringing my attention to happy birthday just now, if I can say that to you, okay?
Mine's in February.
Okay, maybe he's getting quick and getting your card in, but I just feel I want to talk about the birthday coming, is what I want to say here. I think I may be wrong with this, but just humour me for a second from the clairvoyant image that I'm seeing. Do you know if there was anything to do with him trying to rescue or help a crow or a blackbird who had hurt its leg at all, sweetie?
Not particularly that, but he was that way inclined. He didn't help any
Okay.
animal that was hurt or injured or rescued.
Because I almost feel like, don't tell mum because she'll kill me, but I almost feel like keeping this bird in this box or something, just, trying to help it is the easiest way that I could say, because as much as, sometimes he was colourful and a little naughty, he had such a big heart. He was such a caring and loving young man, if I can say that to you, sweetie. And I
Absolutely.
feel that that's something that out of all the bad or out all of the not so great, we cannot get past how much of a great man he was, because when it all boils down to it, sweetie, he certainly was. Okay, he certainly was. You don't need to answer this, but you can make a strange noise if you want, if I'm correct. But do you know if there was a short visit for him, either in a prison cell or in a hotel that he didn't need to pay to be in?
Don't know.
Not sure. Okay, because I feel I want to talk about being 19 or 20 and having an overnight. That's the easiest way that I could say to you.
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
And again, not a big deal, but again, he just keeps saying to me, I want you to remember I came here and I had a good life. He says, I had fun and that's all that matters. But I want to thank you for being my best friend and for being my sidekick when we were together. So you guys have got lots of memories that I'm sure you could write a best-selling book, if I can say that to you, darling.
Absolutely. Steve, you mentioned Steve or Steve.
Yes.
That's his nephew.
Okay, sweetie, perfect. So again, maybe just his way of showing that he's watching over and looking out for them is the easiest way that I could say to you. Do you know Andy or Andrew?
Andy. It rings a bell.
That's okay, because he says to me, let her know I'm with Andy. Okay, darling, thank you so much for allowing me to chat with you. Hopefully that'll spark some memories that maybe you forgot you had, and hopefully all the memories of the times that you and your brother had together will all come back as well. But sincerely, thank you so much for allowing me to chat.
Lots of love.
Thank you very much. Miss Sandra, I will hand it over to you, my darling.
Oh, thank you so much, Dominic. Always a pleasure to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a few announcements. First of all, these loved ones step forward on behalf of all of our loved ones. They're an active part of our life. They go on to learn and to grow and explore, but they can easily be keeping an eye on us, and they love us. Dominic will be back with us on the Sunday gathering on the 9th of February. His website is dominicboag.com. He's got a great book. You saw it in the background. The Voice of Spirit, it is called. Also, Dominic will be live with Darren, with our friend Scott Milligan in Orlando with a few other friends for Touching Eternity, a great retreat where you get to experience different kinds of mediumship, get a taste of it, demonstrations, and that's really, really, really special. So you can find out more about that. If you go to the We Don't Die, go to wedon'tdie.com, click on Scott Milligan, and you can find out about Touching Eternity. Also, there are other events in Scotland and also in the Netherlands in the end of the year. Next week, we're going to be joined by a guest medium named Stephen Trolland, who was with us a couple of times last year. He's just a wonderful, wonderful man. Our new classes have started last week, but you can join and get the replay from the class that you missed. On Mondays, we are with myself and Scott Milligan for a class called Trance and the Altered States. It's a different kind of mediumship where there are no breakout rooms. We close our eyes. We try to quiet that busy mind and blend with the beautiful love from the unseen world, our guides, our loved ones. It's wonderful. Tuesday, you can sit in the power with Scott Milligan. It's a beautiful way to recharge that spiritual battery. Thursdays, we're with our friends Carrie and Phil, our medium tutors, with connecting with the soul and the spirit world. On Friday, we're back with Scott Milligan for Sitting for Healing and a demonstration of trance mediumship, where we have an extraordinary conversation with someone from the spirit world that's called In the Arms of Eternity. There's so much more coming up, including our free grief cafe. You can find everything at wedon'tdie.com. Just click on the store page. You can also click on the Sunday gathering page, watch past Sunday gatherings, register for many of the upcoming ones. And in addition, a shout out to our friends who have made our Sunday gathering possible by donating. You can find the donation link should you choose to donate at the Sunday gathering page at wedon'tdie.com. You folks, you know who you are, and you know behind the scenes it gets quite expensive. And so we've got a little team of people, ladies and gentlemen, that have kept our Sunday gathering going. And if you're one of them, we thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. They really do make a difference. Some just closing words from me as far as being unique and being different. Of course, we are one of a kind. Each one of us are. And who remembers the wonderful Dr. Seuss and all of his wonderful books? He had some quotes that I found, and I just thought, let me just read these quotes because they apply to all of us. We are all a little weird, and life's a little weird. And when we find someone whose weirdness is compatible with ours, we join up with them and fall in mutual weirdness and call it love. So here we are, folks, mutual weirdness on the Sunday gathering and love. He also says, why fit in when you were born to stand out? And today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. And my favorite, because here we are trying to fit in so often, be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. So be you. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Dominic for our closing prayer.
That was beautiful, Sandra. Thank you for sharing those with us. Ladies and gentlemen, let's come together once more for a moment of contemplation as we give our sincere thanks. Divine Spirit, we graciously thank you for allowing us to come together, coming together under the banner of We Don't Die, with the knowledge and the belief that life truly is eternal. We thank you for coming close to us and sharing your words, your wisdom, and your comfort, but most importantly, showering us with your love and your healing. We thank you for allowing this moment to happen, but we now ask you to take that healing energy and take it to everyone present here today, their family, their friends, their pets, but also to put it out into Mother Nature and help heal our earth so that we can continue to call this place beautiful home. We thank you for everything that you give us, and we thank you for showing us the way, but also for showing us that it's okay to be different and it's okay to be us. So Father, Spirit, and the Divine, we thank you for allowing us to be one. Amen.
Thank you so much, Dominic, and thank you, Darren. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you to our friends and loved ones in the spirit world. And speaking about It's Okay to Be Different, our closing song is actually a song that makes me want to dance, and that's what it's called. I was so busy in the chat box, song came to an end. We read every message, my friends, in that chat box. We are too busy, so we can't type back to you all. So I was trying to get to some. We love you. We thank you. We'll see you next week, if not before. Have a wonderful week. Go make a difference for another person. You never know how many people could just use maybe a little you time. All right. Thanks again. Bye, everyone.